Welcome to a new episode of True North, Grit and Grace, the podcast where we share the real stories of business owners and entrepreneurs here in Canada. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Sandrine. Hey, Sandrine, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. And you?
Oh, doing very well, doing very well. It's summertime as we're recording this, and it's beautiful. I know your vacation time is coming soon. But before we talk about vacations, let's start with sharing a little bit about yourself. If you want to share who you are, what you do right now.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Anna, for having me today. It's a pleasure to be chatting with you. So, I'm Sandrine. I'm an insurance award winner leading the insurance division at Yorkville Young Financial Solution, which is an insurance and estate planning brokerage that works with individual, family, offices, and corporation to ensure that they have adequate insurance coverage, implement estate planning, generational wealth, and other tax saving strategies.
You did mention award winning. Uh, and I know it's a recent, actually, like very recently in the spring, March or April, you won something. Can you share a little bit about this one?
Yes, of course. So I had the pleasure to be nominated to the People's Choice Award in the Richmond Hill Board of Trade. Um, it was very unexpected. I was not expecting it, but I did actually win the award. So I know that you are also part of the Richmond Hill Board of Trade. Um, so it's great to be in part of such a great community.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic community, and this is how we met actually there. And I had the pleasure of hearing your story at one of these events. And you are one of ultimately an inspiration for starting this podcast. And I really appreciate having you here and hearing a little bit more about you and what you do. And you are in finance, and finance is a very interesting space. And I'm wondering, did you always imagine yourself being in this space, or was it a journey to get there?
Great question. So initially, I was undecided between various fields, business, law, engineering. I also love music and dancing, but I never saw myself professionally in that field. So I did decide last minute to study finance at U of T upon graduation. I took the first job that came my way in insurance, and now I think this is all part of my journey in the financial space. After that, I did get experience in the insurance industry for about 5 years as top one insurance advisor, and I did get also two other awards for exceptional strategy with my clients. I would say there were many ups and downs, bad manager work, places that did not care about result, but more about politics and how it benefit them. Luckily, I did find an opportunity where I was compensated morally for results and making other people's lives better. So that was my journey.
Love the diversity of like your interests, and this is something when you think about it, like we are also like we all have so many things that we love doing and we're interested in, and like the dancing is very interesting, but you're right that as a career path is also probably really hard.
Yeah.
Mhm. And you already mentioned a little bit about like as part of your career journey, of course, you've had some bad managers. Like it's like who hasn't? And how is what you're doing right now different? Like how is it allowing you to, like you said, you're compensated better for like what you're doing and how you do things. Uh,
Yes, of course. So I would say the biggest difference is that when you're working in like a bigger company, there are specific laws in place, there's specific structures. So you really need to follow the rules and need to follow how they do things, even though it's not necessarily the best way or the way that everyone wants to do things, right? So currently, because I'm an insurance broker, I work with different insurance company. There are certain compliance that of course I need to follow, and I do follow, but I'm able to work the way I want to, do business the way I want to. Sometimes put clients first versus, when you're in corporate, you there are some compliance that which is a bit weird, because when you're working in a bigger company, you would think that clients do comfort, but it's not necessarily the case, when you're working in head office there. So yeah, so that's how it is different.
Yeah, I can relate to some of these things. Like I've worked for financial institutions as well, and like with financial institutions, and you're right that corporate has a lot of political stuff going on there as well, and definitely being part and like running a smaller practice has its benefits. Mm, I'm wondering actually before we talk about the benefits, opportunities, and things like this, what was the hardest part of stepping into this role and what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so the hardest part about stepping into this role and building, my own book of business, was the risk, to get out of my comfort zone, jump into an opportunity where I didn't really know how it would go. It could go very well, but then as well it could have went very badly. The challenging part is building your own book, is that making yourself visible. There's a lot of competition out there, and then when you're in a bigger company, there's the name, but then when you are working as a broker, there is still the name of the insurance companies, but why would someone come directly to me rather than work with the insurance company themselves, right? So that's where the value comes in. Luckily, there are lots of opportunities that need to be unlocked with time, and really excited about that. And we also recently started working on group benefit, and it's been a great start with many businesses, and there are a lot of sales that need to be enabled as well.
Sounds like a very exciting thing you're doing actually, like more like based on how you're sharing this. Um, was there a moment that you actually doubted yourself whether you succeed? Like you said that you did take a risk. Like it was risky to get out there and like you don't have the big name behind you. That of course like big names help. So was there a moment when you doubted yourself, doubted whether you'll be able to succeed? And if there was a moment like this, what helped you move through this?
Yes, of course. I've had multiple mental breakdowns, I would say, in the last year, thinking about, what's the worst case scenario that could happen. But I think it's always important to take a step back and see how much you've progress and how much you accomplish. And then that really helps you move forward. Um, I think no matter what opportunity you do, or even if you start a new job or opportunity, there always is um, that leap of faith that you need to take, right? Because you don't know what can happen. But at the same time, even if you stay in your current job, that's also a risk, right? So you have to kind of manage what's the bigger risk you want to take. What's the better result that you may be getting in the future, right?
Absolutely. It's so interesting what you're saying with the that even staying with your job can be risky. And I was just having recently a conversation on a similar topic that people say that oh, starting a business is risky. Going and trying to find your clients, it's a risky endeavor. But then, like you said, it's sometimes it's riskier to work for someone and stay at your job because you never know things you work for someone else who might say that's it. To,
Yeah,
tomorrow you're not there. So you're right. Like the risk and reward and. It's an exciting, like a roller coaster, a bit like you said, with some moments where you even have mental breakdowns, but then looking back at the progress you've made and all the good things that are happening. Now, you are an immigrant, like you came to Canada and you are building, in a way, your own business here. Do you think you have faced any kind of unique challenges in terms of like professionally, culturally, even personally on your journey so far?
yeah. So I arrived to Canada as an international student. I started working in the insurance industry early on, and then I worked at multiple companies. Currently, I'm working at Yorkville. So I would say, working in business in Canada, I face a lot of challenges. Specifically, if I'm a woman, I would say I think there are still like a lot of double standard on the role of a woman in a professional career, which makes it a bit more challenging to challenge your professional and balance your professional and personal. And I think sometimes in the business world, some people don't take you as seriously, some men, they're like, oh, I feel like some people are still not sure if they want to be working with a woman. But with time, I think I'll rather than overcome this challenge. I really hope that, business owners would see me or and like other women as someone who's good at what they do, and any positive energy we're able to provide rather than other things, I would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you winning that award as well, it's also a testament to your professionalism and what you bring uh, to what everything you do. Um, Now, we talked a little bit about some of the challenges and the risk you took. How about things you love about your work?
Mm, yeah, so what I love the most about what I do is being able to help people, provide them with financial peace of mind. I love building relationship with people. Um, I think um, I think my definition of success has also changed over time. Before, I was chasing having a job, doing tasks as they are set to be, whereas now my definition of success and happiness is making a change, reinventing what people um, already do. Um, I think in general, it is important for me to make a difference between what people already do and how they do business versus what the right thing is and how you can challenge it and how you can make it better. So I think this is something that I love to do, and I want to continue doing it. I think there's insurance industry is a great industry to be in, but I think that um, compared to other things in the financial industry, I think insurance is kind of still not fully developed. So I think that I'm happy to be part of this industry.
I love what you said about like helping your clients now and how your focus has changed, like how your definition of success has changed and has evolved. And this is amazing, like showing again the difference you mentioned between what you were doing before being part of a bigger corporation and now being part of that smaller business and running your own business, how your focus is on helping people succeed. And it's fantastic. I love it. And thank you for sharing it. Mm. Now, you did mention that like, you've had your ups and downs, right? Even with some breakdowns. Any habits, any routines that help you stay grounded, motivated, and keep you focused on what you're doing?
Yeah, so some habits and routine I think that are very important is to not procrastinate. I think that's like the biggest thing for people is that they're always procrastinating. Finishing the task that you are set your mind to, not giving up. I think it's good to finish things rather than keep them in the middle unfinished. Being organized is very important. Being open to change and listening to what people have to say as well. You're not always right. I'm not always right. So it's important to listen to what other people have to say and use the important information to change what you currently do. And then the most important is to keep going, set ambitious goals. That keeps me motivated. I also love the fact that I'm always learning about people surrounding me, and it's not just transactional. It's fascinating how people are unique and different, and how we can learn from each one another, discover different cultures, different value, and how people work, how people live their lives. So I think all this keeps me motivated and focused just to learn new things. I love to travel in general because I love discovering new culture. So it's great that I'm able to do that in within my work. Going to networking events, meeting people is always so refreshing. So that also keeps me motivated. It's not just me selling. It's me meeting people, discovering new cultures. Yeah. So that's that.
Wow, that's fantastic. Like, that human connection, it's so important in business, especially.
Exactly.
Um, if you're thinking that, as you were starting this new adventure, like in all the experience you've gained so far, like if you were talking with someone who is considering starting their business here in Canada or stepping into a more of an entrepreneurial kind of role, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting or even just thinking of starting?
Yeah, the advice I would give someone who is considering getting into entrepreneurial role is I think it's important to make a calculated decision to determine if it is for you. Um, I always like hear people, and I think that it may not be for everyone. Some people like to just have things as it is, do things as they are told. They don't like to do it, and then they don't also like the uncertainty, the unknown. But if you're willing to take a risk and be a bit uncertain on how you're gonna do things and be starting up things yourself, then you should probably go for it. I think it's important to find a mentor, the most important, and then learn as much as you can, but also use your own experience to build what works for you. Ownership is important. Take ownership of what you do. If you make a mistake, you do have to own it. You cannot just go around and thinking that you know everything and you don't do mistakes. It's important to take ownership and responsibility as well. So I think that's the most important entrepreneurship for me.
There is so much gold in everything you were saying. Like even when you talk about the procrastination in terms of like your habits, like completing everything you're starting, and when you are in more of an entrepreneurial role, when you don't have some of the structure of a corporation, it's easy to procrastinate. So there's so much gold in everything you're saying. So like so many notes for anyone who's listening to this conversation. Um, Now, another question I was wondering about is like with the role you have, like what you are doing, is there any kind of a misconception, something people misunderstand about your role and what you do, and in general, like roles like yours, and if there is any kind of misconception, what's the truth actually?
Yeah, so misconception people have about the role like mine is that they think that all we do is like sell, but it's actually much more than that. It's about advising, strategizing, making informed decisions, and helping people protect themselves. Another misconception is that life insurance, in life insurance, that people think that, oh, I don't need this, when I die, like it doesn't matter, they will figure it out, right? But I think life insurance is a great um, tool even in your living. Life insurance is a great tax saving tool. You can build generational wealth. It's like an asset class as well. So I think this is another misconception people have in the insurance industry. And then something else that I want to chat about is that in insurance there are so many insurance brokers. So what differentiates us from others is like it's all about relationship building, because there's so many of us. So that's something else to consider, is that you can like work with whoever you feel comfortable. I know a lot of insurance and financial advisors, they they are friends, and it's not only about insurance. It's about being a friend, building a friendship. um I have like a lot of clients where I know more about them than their own friends knows about them, right? So I think this is like important, um something important to realize.
It's very interesting. And like you were saying how you love connecting with people, and it sounds like a great match, like for what you do, like with building that relationship and how important it is. And like, yeah, for insurance and with insurance brokers, and I can imagine that this applies to a lot of other businesses as well, other areas where like, there's so many people doing the same thing, and ultimately it's human to human having that
Yeah.
personal connection. Mm. Now if you can go back and talk to your younger self, what would you say, like if you can talk to yourself, like let's say before you started that journey, and tell yourself something, like give yourself a piece of advice, what would this be?
So if I can go back to my younger self, I think one thing I would say is failure is just part of success as much as success is part of success. And it's not supposed to be something I dwell on or anyone dwells on. And, you have to move on. If things don't work out, then it's not meant to be for you. And you should, find either try again, either find a different solution. But you cannot just dwell on something, and you have to keep going. And then also not let people or small thing put you down, or and try to block unnecessary noise. Sometimes we're in the moment, a problem happens and you think it's the end of the world, and it's a very big problem. But then when you move past it, and then a couple of years later you look back and you think about it, and you're like, okay, this was so small and unnecessary. And then you realize that your reaction was not suitable for what was happening. But I guess it's all part of learning experience. And then most important, I think it's important to have support from people who care about you, like your friends, like your family. um, Even though I'm a pretty independent person, it's important to share. I do have that issue that sometimes I like to keep things for myself. I don't like to go and ask for help from friends and family. But then if somehow they find out, then I realize, okay, I should have said that from the start, right? You shouldn't bottle things up. You have to talk to someone just to, because sometimes they can have a solution, or they can give you a different perspective that you never thought about. And then sometimes things are not as big of a deal as you thought they would be.
Yeah, it's such a great point. And um, as you were saying this, I was thinking that I'm also not someone who shares and goes and ask for help and keep things to myself. But you're right that the people, especially people who care about us, right? Like our family and friends, that uh, even if they can't help, at least they listen. At least they let us share. And it's
Exactly.
such a great point. Yeah, so such a great point. Now, you did mention that one thing that keeps you motivated is setting goals. And I'm wondering what's next for you professionally, personally.
Yeah, so that's important. I think um, for me, I really want freedom and peace of mind. I think that's the most important for me. So that comes first. So my goal is to be able to grow my book of business, help people, and I do also want to make a change, and give back as well. And I do want to be like a leader in my industry. So yeah, that's nothing major. I think that sometimes um,
Nothing major. I want to be a leader in my industry and make a change, but nothing major. Okay.
no, I mean, it's not like I have something specific. Okay, like I want to buy this, or I want to like accomplish, like I want to make that much X money, right? I think that for me, it's like I want freedom and peace of mind that comes with it, and then I also want to be a leader and part of a change in my industry, and I also want to give back, because it's always important, to give back. The more you give, the the greater the impact, right? And that's what it's all about, right? But I don't have like specific, oh, I want to make X amount, I want to do this. Not like specific, but like generally, just the bigger picture for me, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It makes sense. Uh, Now, you mentioned like who you're working with, and you have things you offer both personally, like you said, with life insurance, and also working with businesses as well. So, first question is, yeah, let's put it this way: who's your ideal client? And then the second part is how can they connect with you and learn more about your work and even work with you?
Okay. So our the Yorkville Asset Management is an investment boutique. So mainly the target is high net worth clients. But on the insurance side, we target I would say my main would be business owners, as well as individuals and families. Everyone needs insurance. And I think that you can buy insurance at any starting points. There's for everyone. So I think everyone is my ideal client, I would say. Um, and they can connect with me over LinkedIn, through my name, Sandrine Makaron, and then or at a networking event at the Richmond Hill and then the Markham Board of Trade, or just contact me or send me a message through my phone number at 416-303-8292. So yeah, that's um I'm looking forward to connect with as many people as I can.
Fantastic. I'll add the information in the description, so it will be available there. If people want to connect through LinkedIn, go to the website, call you. So I'll add that information so people can get life insurance. Uh, it's been amazing learning more about you and like how you see like building that connection, like from everything you were sharing, like uh, even building resilience, like and understanding that yes, there are ups and downs and there are problems, but it's important to uh, not listen to the voice and be like, okay, because like you said, 2 years down the road, you look back at it and you'll be like, huh,
Yeah.
it was not a big problem. And again, you shared so much, like, absolutely like gold, everything you talked about. Uh, One final question. What does grit and grace mean to you in your own life and in the work you're doing?
So I think grit and grace is applicable to my life. I would say, work hard, play hard. That saying. So I think for me that's how it would be applicable. I think it's good to go through challenges and difficulties before you can enjoy the fruit of your work and be content with what you achieve. So it's all part of it. Um, yeah, so I think that would be how I would define it in my own life and in work. There's always things you have to go through and to appreciate things, good things you have in your life.
Very well said. And yeah, absolutely. It reminds me also of that idea that uh, when you are building a business or you're in a role where like you build your like you go find clients and like you will have entrepreneurial role, in a way all the time you're a problem solver. It's like one problem after the other. Especially when you work with clients directly, I can imagine that there's a lot, like you said, going through the challenges so you can enjoy the good in life as well. Thank you so much again for being one of the first guests on this podcast and sharing your wisdom and your light with everything you are doing and you've done so far. And it's amazing like, how you have transitioned from being part of, let's call it cushy corporate world, to something that's more risky. But in a way, like you said, it's not that risky. So again, thank you so much, Sandrine, for this amazing conversation. And I'll add all the information you shared in the description so people can connect with you and get life insurance. Uh, and wishing you even more success. And I'll be happy to have you back as well. Like with all the awards you're winning, who knows? You might be the first one to come back and share even more about your journey.
Thank you so much, Anna, for having me. It's a pleasure working with you, and I also can't wait to hear more about your success stories. I'm sure you're doing amazing things as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there will be probably. I'll definitely share things when we especially when we meet at some of those events.
Okay,
Thank you so
perfect.
much.
Thank you. Did you stop sharing?